Welcome once again to one of the most magnificent venues here in the north of Spain. Delighted for you to join us here in Heras, Cantabria Infinita, for the fourth CSI2 start. It is a beautiful part of the country, magnificent nature, tremendous traditions, and this, once again, fabulous venue brings together some world-class horse and rider combinations for us to see compete. It is in fact the second week of competition, and we are set now for the Grand Prix. But let's, as the crowd get ready, take a little opportunity to have a little look back at what happened just 1 week previous here in this magnificent arena. It was a tremendous day for Kevin Gonzalez, Desirata Fernandez and Cantusini 17. Beautifully strided on the rollback turn. This the jump off for the Grand Prix. Big wide open turn, got a brilliant stride to the parallel. Had to shorten a little. Again, just has the confidence to let Cantusini run between the fences. In and out of the double. Charging over the last, brilliant round of jumping, 36.87 was enough to take it with the clear. And you can see what it meant to him. It was a very, very special moment. Great relationship between horse and rider. And the trophy went the way of Spain. The trick will be if he's able to repeat it, but you can see plenty there to congratulate both a brilliant rider and a quite superb horse. Well, the focus now, a chance to have a listen, having just won the Grand Prix of Santander International here in Jerez. He was really happy. His horse felt incredible today. He had a clear round with both of his horses in the first round. Had a little scare in the jump-off with the first horse, but then went on with Cantusini, who was very fast and has been giving him a lot of joy recently. Getting on really well with her. Starting last was sometimes the other horses had done and decided to go for the double behind after that scare he'd had with the other horse. Worked out well, and he couldn't be more happy on a perfect day. Well, we've had a lot of fun here in Jerez and Santander, and you can see the highlights from the ride and drive certainly brought a lot of excitement to the crowd. Not sure I'd want to be a passenger with some of the driving going on, but it was a quick hop and a skip. And there we have a lot to celebrate, a lot to cheer. It always gives us a lot to enjoy. It brings together, of course, both aspects of horsepower, which is always lovely to see. Well, congratulations to all involved, and once again, the ride and drive, always part of the fun. But this is the serious business, and Eduardo Alvarez Estrada has set this track for the Cantabria Infinita Trophy, the Grand Prix of 2025. Time allowed, all important, 76 seconds, tremendous warm-up facilities, and thankfully today there is a little bit of a breeze. Allows our flags to flutter along there, but it's perfect conditions once again in this quite perfect setting. It really is looking down from the drone. Here's one to pay attention to. His name is Nicolas Toro from Colombia. He's been living in Europe now for 15 years, decided to come to Europe to pursue his dream that has been with him since he was a kid, becoming a professional rider at the highest level. Always, since a child, he's followed the big competitions, Olympic, world and five-star competitions, and has always dreamt of being able to participate in some of these events. In 2019, with a great horse named Cinderella, he was able to join the Nations Cup final in Barcelona. That was truly a dream come true. He loves Spain, he loves the competitions and loves the attention, and really, it is all very, very close to his heart. It gives him a great impression of Spain. They've treated him so well, and he really feels at home here. He'd like to make a special thank you to Kevin Alvaro and the Curabo family of course, for all of their support. Well, there's a lot of support both up in the stands and, of course, in the hospitality as well. And now we can begin to focus on Nicolas Toro, who's going to be the first to go in this competition for us. This Colombian rider, as I said, he rode at the Nations Cup back in 2019. He previously was very successful when he was even based out in Colombia. He won a gold medal at the South American Games when he was in the early stages of his career. And this horse, Rolex van der Sotoblahova, Belgian warm blood, by Bethuro van het Benizhoff. Now coming right-handed back round to the Heras wall. Ooh, the plank on the fork, just catching him out. Into the triple bar. See how they need that control coming into the combination, and shortens them up after that. Open stride going in. It's that final rail that goes down. And this is the final line. Runs up close to the time, but he's in on the clock, 76 seconds, 74.29, but it is a total of 16 penalties for Nicolas Toro there and Rolex van der Sotoblahova, the Colombian rider, the first for us to go. Well, let's move on to the first we see for us for Spain, and this is the turn of Alvaro González de Zarate. He's riding here with Abain de Mensil, beautiful mare by Vigasesi. These two, we know, have been going well last week as well as this week. He's been part of Spain's Nations Cup teams this year, most recently in Deauville, where the team finished in second. Almost shortened up too much. He left himself with quite a bit to do. But handles that rather well. A lovely stride out of the combination now into this final line. He's still clear. Brilliantly done. There's the clear. Sets things up rather nicely. Big horse, big stride, takes a lot to contain. It's obviously not the biggest arena in the world, but at the same time, the fence is coming quite thick and fast. He's able to have that understanding and control. Well, we'll stay with top talent from Spain for the next to go, because this is Amanda Tapote riding with one of two horses in this class. Chiquilito PS, gelding by the great Chaco Blue, another rider that has, of course, competed at Nations Cup final. In fact, he was with this horse, been in good form recently. He's also got that lovely ride, Tornado, that took him to the Europeans in Milan a couple of years ago. But he's not going to be in the jump off with this one. Found quite a balanced six strides on the way into the combination. Guess there'll be a little disappointment. He has another chance, but unfortunately he's had one down with this opening ride. And jockey PS, Ramanda Tapante there finishing on a score of 4. Tension moves across to the next to go. Alvaro Diaz and Paco. Paco van der Bishop. Gelding by Cabrio van der Heffink. The early part of the year, getting ready for the summer on the Sunshine Tour in Vira da Fronteira. He's doing a very good job at the moment. What a shame, one fence goes down. Oh, a time penalty. He's picked up a time penalty, the first to do that, 76.02. Time hadn't really looked to be much of an issue, but very much part of the test, as we know, and therefore it is a total of 5. Ivan Serrano says next, and Hoz Lelois B. And this is a lovely looking stallion by Triomphe de Mousse, French bred. Ivan, who was part of the European Championship team back in 2019 in Rotterdam on Tam Tam du Vallon. He's also recently been on Nations Cup duty for Spain and that podium finish in Deauville, that with Rain Man. So far, so good. I hope I haven't spoken too soon. You can really see the breeze has picked up quite a bit here this afternoon. Almost drifting a little bit on the way into the combination, just creating a little bit more space for themselves. This final fence just comes at a little bit of an angle. Oh no! Back rail down, well in on the clock, but unfortunately, just getting caught out at the last. As I said, it just turns, or almost gives the impression of that turn because of the way the arena comes in, but what a shame, finishes on 4. To Sweden we go, or to Sweden we are joined now from Sweden. It is Göran Ekberg with Der Frohs Orca Sit Z. Side gelding by Organo Seat. Jana, who is a tremendously experienced rider, of course, has on numerous occasions ridden on Swedish Nations Cup team. She's produced some lovely young horses over the years as well. This 9-year-old really started to step up a little bit through the winter. She's just been using this tour to continue to build the confidence and the mileage and that experience with this gelding to really develop the partnership. want to speak too soon, but she's done such a brilliant job. She deserves to jump it, and jump it she has. Clear round for Sweden into the jump off. Göran Ekberg, By OxerSport, that beautiful partnership. Really, you can see what it means to Göran, but lovely result for the two of them. Well, from Sweden to Italy, Chloe Bottolini, Nalubai P and S. This mare is the next to go, Belgian bred. Finished off the Sunshine Tour back in March with a superb result in the 4-star there with this ride. Pops in and out of the double with confidence. Now round to the wall. Big and solid wall, isn't it? But it's actually quite narrow. It really backs the horses off, and then they've got to be able to concentrate going forward. It's a really tough line across the middle when you consider you've got the wall where it's just sort of really backing them off, and then got a very open distance down to a very open fence with the water tray underneath, and of course that drawing the horse's eye in. And then you've got to ride forward to that very delicate little plank that follows. 5 strides on the turn, then the 4 strides down to the plank. Not getting any easier. As the last goes, the clock ticks over as well. We get a total of 13 penalties there, 0.6 over the time allowed. Riders just having to be a little bit sensitive to the time. You wouldn't want to leave the fences up and pick up time penalties. If you can help it, that's for sure. But it's, of course, the fences, because they come so thick and fast, there's not a huge amount of area out there. Got a few of the rollback turns, but you can really make up the difference on the clock. Well, this combination of Pablo Valle Espiendo and New York Z. Another for Spain, this by Numero Uno. Did very well coming through the youth ranks of the sports. Part of a team gold back in 2019 for the junior Europeans. It's a 1.45 m track, a little bit of a step up. Jumping along at 135s, 140s. Just asking a little bit more here today. Now, he does need to be a little bit careful at the time because he's just let the horse back up a little bit coming round that corner. And the clock is ticking away. And the clock has gone over, and what a shame. He'll be, I'm sure, happy in so many ways, but of course that disappointment to know that you've left the fences standing but unable to quite make it into the jump-off. So it isn't to be for Pablo Valle Espiendo and New York. Staying with Spain now, Jose Bono Rodriguez. This is Alibaba HT, still a great stallion by Dublin Van Overis. Based in Toledo, here in Spain. Looking for that next clear. A lovely top 10 finish back in April, end of April, in that 3-star Grand Prix in Oliva Nova. This horse looks like it's jumping really well, giving the fences plenty of scope and height. He looks a little bit better placed when it comes to the time allowed. He's kept a lovely forward flowing rhythm, real confidence in the way he's riding, and delivers a beautiful clear round well inside the time. That was quick. One to watch in the jump off. Horse and rider looking in great form. Beautiful ride. And a beautiful stallion there in Alibaba. And Spain securing another slot, meaning a huge amount to him. Staying with Spain because the next up is Alberto Marquez Colabanades riding Corazon K. This Hanoverian gelding by Cascadello. Of course, has represented Spain at Nations Cups and European Championships over the years. Rode at the Europeans back in 2021 in Riesenbeck. Was at the Nations Cup final in Spain last year on Arcelo. He certainly started the week in good form when he had that second place with this ride in the Grand Prix qualifier. Beautifully straight all the way down the centre. Kept it in the pink as they try to stay in the middle of the combination. Pushes on and over the last, and the clear's beginning to grow. Very, very nicely done indeed from Alberto and Corazon K. What a little jump off we've got building rather nicely. It's going to be an exciting round against the clock when we get there. Next to go in this opening round, though, Hernandez Llagas, riding here with Nemo de Proyo, the gelding by Action Breaker. Another young jockey that's, of course, come through the youth ranks very successfully of the sport. First international outing since here last year. Got away with giving get the back rail a little bit of a rub there. Sadly not to be. Really is coming down to very fine margins. It's been a course that's really shared out its problems as well. Very clever course designing, but the score is 4, gets it on the clock. But Inet and Nemo sadly missing out on their chance to get through to the jump off. You can see the disappointment as she crosses the line, but still happy enough with the way her horse has gone. Now to a super young talent for Spain, Celia Corbatera riding Alto de Rock. She was still riding in juniors last year. In fact, she was part of the tremendous silver medal winning team at the Junior European Championships in Pilebergen last summer. That was with this horse. A lovely stable of horses. She's got another one called Denticel de Santia that has already won a couple of classes here this week. not to be. It's tough. Middle part of the final rail, making for the third fence down, and a total of 12 on Alto de Roc. And Celia Corroboteran then, who I'm sure is focusing towards the Young Rider European Championships in Riesenbeck in a couple of weeks' time. Back with us, though, with his second ride is Ramonda Tapati, riding Carl P on this occasion. This lovely Dutch gelding by Carrera VDL. Can he have a little bit more luck this time round and find his way into the jump-off? He, with this horse, 2 days ago, won the opening Grand Prix qualifier here. See, he's been very precise, very careful with where he tries to position the horse. Really trying to give his ride the best opportunity. Again, nice and straight down the middle. It's very tempting to just shift your balance over the parallel to try and turn or begin the turn. And that can so easily, if you do that too quickly, bring the back rail down, but there's no rails down here, and that is a brilliant round from a man that, of course, will be part of the Europeans this year for the Spanish team on home soil. Of course, that taking place in Coruña in July. Superb result from the Spaniard with his second ride. Next to go, super talent from Norway. This is Cecily Hatteland riding Katarina van Maralzed. This mare by Kenan. Cecily, who rode at the World Championships in 2022 for Norway. Oh dear. It's a shame. This combination finished in the top 6 in the Grand Prix here a week ago. They're not going to get the chance to jump off this week. Final part of that combination going down as well. So the Norwegian challenge coming home on a total of 8 as they cross the finish line. Cecily Hatteland there and Katarina van Maralzed still not able to discover the form of a week ago. Not done yet. Not done by a long way. Now, from Ireland, Michael G. Duffy. Tornado Flip de la Mia TZ, the gelding by Tornado FCA Another rider that has, of course, played his role on teams over the years for Ireland. Another 9-year-old as well that is, of course, he's just sort of stepping up, really, I think is the best way to put it. This horse is, he jumped in a couple of 145s back in the early part of the year. And now just trying to sort of establish themselves a little bit more at this level. Jumping a lot of clears at 140, so you can see why Michael's keen to push up and on. So important, you can see, to keep that rhythm round the corner. Now he's coming home. Oh no, and he knew it. He knew it. He was in trouble. You heard him say, whoa. Just a little bit too forward as he landed over the first part of that line at number 11. And then by the time he got to the middle, not really much that he or the horse could do. Not to beat for Ireland. Now a chance for Germany. Anna Maria Koloman riding U2. Another great looking stallion, this by Yoriko out of a staccato mare. Had a top 4 finish here yesterday in the winning round competition. It's a horse, though, she's only had for, well, really a few months. She started riding back at the sort of early springtime this year. It's only the 3rd or 4th show together. Oh, I thought for a moment she might get lucky, but it's hard to sort of touch a plank like that and expect it to stay up on those flat cups. They finish with 1 down. They do get inside the clock, so go into 8th place for the time being. Anna Maria Koloman then from Germany with U2. Back to Spain for the next to go. Carolina Arasi Garcia Robron riding Funny Stark du Parc. It's gelding by L'Arc de Triomphe, Bois Margot out of a Canaan mare. This 10-year-old gelding going to get on? Again, it's another of those sort of combinations really sort of beginning to step up into those 145 classes with a little bit more consistency this year. She jumped a nice clear just a few weeks back in Lapine de Heras in France. Clear round not coming here in Heras. Not their day. They finish on a total of 8, and Carolina Arsu there with Funny Star du Parc. Little pat, but walking away. Next to go, Pablo Santiago Artem, riding Tanca de Mares, the gelding by Kenan. Last to go in this opening round of jumping, part of the silver medal winning team as well, 2nd member of that junior medal winning team, alongside Cecilia Gobo, who we saw a little earlier on, the Europeans last summer. That was a different horse though. He's decided to go with Tanker in the Grand Prix. He has got Chiquita, his European ride from last year, here as well, and won the 2nd of the Grand Prix qualifiers here yesterday. Can he get himself into that jump-off position today? Oh, and he's done it. There'll be 6 going through to the jump off. Plenty of support. Well done, Pablo. And Tanka de Maris, you can see why he elected to go with Tanka today. He's in tremendous form. Wow, what a jump off that we now have lined up. Some great riders involved. And here is, of course, a member of that jump off and a team member for the Europeans this year. It's Amanda Tapote. He's returned once again to Heras, Cantabria Infinita competition, and always tries to put it in the calendar. This year, he's decided to bring a group of 3 horses. So he's got Chocoloco, he's got Carl, he's got Mathilde. So far, they've had a pretty good competition. He hopes to try and win the Grand Prix today. The truth is that he's very, very proud to be able to represent the Spanish team at the European Championships this year, held in Cansas Novas. And that's why he's decided to come to this contest to be able to do Jerez and Manzia. They're great opportunities and great to be competing here at home.
Michael G. Duffy
Michael
here.
Duffy.
Very happy to be here in Heras this week at the 2-Star Show. We came here for 2 weeks and we've had a super time. Feel really welcome here in the north of Spain. The show is super, great facilities, the ground is good. For me especially, I have some younger horses, a little bit inexperienced, and it was great to come here. We could ride 2 horses in the ranking classes here. They gained a lot of experience. Excited today for the Grand Prix. Hopefully can have a good result.
Well, here's those that have got the opportunity to have a good result over Eduardo Alvarez Estella's course. And full marks to our course designer. Got this one spot on. Gave them a really interesting testing but exciting opening round, and now it's the chance to challenge them in that jump off against the clock. Over the shortened course, preparations nearly complete. Final measurements, final moments before the riders come back. And here are the 6 of them. Alvaro Gonzalez de Zarate Fernandez with that opening draw. Jonas Ekberg goes second, the chance for Sweden before we move on. And here we go with the first out. Big exciting day, of course, for all of the riders involved, and Alvaro the first to go. How's he going to get on? Taking us round, so they started over 5. The roll back to fence what was number 2. Then they move on to fence 3. Now right-handed turn, back to the double. Got to push forward here. See on the turn once more. Jumps 8. Now, new fence. It's the last in reverse, now built as an oxer. And then it's a long old way, all the way to the last to go. This is a brilliant way to start, I have to say. He's done quite an excellent job. 38.35. That was nice. That was very nice. He's put quite a standard on the board. That was going to take a little bit of beating. We'll see how they go. 5 to challenge, but Alvaro, well done. Superb start. Now with Bofors Okrasit, it's Jonas Ekberg. With this gelding looking to try and chase that time of 38.35. Of course, this horse is 2 years younger, so she's going to just have to be maybe a little bit steadier of how she rides between the fences. She won't want to upset the balance too much. Now this turn back will be key. Turning again, you can see on the split, she's just a little bit down at the moment, 1.7. She'd have to take a stride out. Not sure she'll be that brave. She wants to get the double clear. She's done such a great job with that wonderful gelding. And it is a very good round. It's a clear round, but it isn't quite fast enough. 40.14. So for the moment, going into second for the Swedish challenge there, Jonas Ekberg. So, well, I think she'll be pleased with how that horse has developed. Next to go, Jose Bono Rodriguez and Alibaba HT. Now, this horse actually really impressed me in the opening round. It's a beautiful grey stallion by Dublin Van Overis. Just trying to land as tight as he was, trying to land a little short, but in doing so took quite a bit of pace out. He's got the twist and turn okay, but he's down as well in terms of time. Oh no, lost their shape. And Alvaro's still going to lead, because over the line goes Jose Bono Rodriguez and Alibaba HT, 40.47, a little bit slower, but also it's the cost of having a fence down. And Göran Ekberg will stay in second place as things stand. Well, the jump-off continues. Alberto Marquez, Garbarez and Corazon K. It's gelding by Cascadella. Coming now over that parallel, tempts you to turn a little early if you're not careful. Again, it's that rustic coloured fence. He was coming at a little bit of an angle, which I don't think would have helped him, because it looked like they tapped it in front. And look at that, 38.06. He's just proved the time is beatable. But unfortunately, he's had a fence down, and that has cost him the opportunity to go to the top. But Alvaro Gonzalez de Zarate Fernandez still leads, because sadly there, 38.06 on a score of 4 for Alberto Marquez Garbarez is only good enough to go currently third. Now, having just heard from him, it's Amanda Traporte and Carl P. Is there anything this European Championship rider can do to push his way to the front of the order? Not wasting any time at all, is he? Just maybe not quite as fast between the fences. Oh, well, that changed. Knew he couldn't go too fast. He didn't want to have it down. Great effort, goes second. So Armando Traporte and Carl P. But still, there's a gap to the top, but it is still a very good round. But Alvaro Gonzalez de Zarate Fernandez, 38.35 with just one challenge left. This is Pablo Santiago team and Danka Damare, the last out against the clock. It was a brilliant round from this young man to put himself in the jump-off. No, it's over. It's a shame. It was just that twist, and again, just coming in on the angles, and unfortunately it's caught him out. I mean, full marks to this young man. He's had a very good ride in the opening round to give himself this chance in the jump-off round. It just hasn't quite come together on this occasion. There's plenty more chances, I'm sure, for him in the future. But it certainly has come together for Alvaro Gonzalez de Zarate Fernandez and Aberendament Sinil, the winning combination. Look at that, double clear, 38.35. Spain 1 and 2 with Amanda Traporte and Carl P in second, and Göran Ekberg, the Swedish star, finishing in third. Presentation time and awards handing out down there on the arena floor. Special day. And what a great round of jumping it was as well. Minister for Culture and Tourism making the presentation as they head off on their lap of honour. Well, What a brilliant event it has been once again. Now a chance to hear from the winner himself. Very happy to be winning here at home. In fact, it's a Grand Prix of this calibre is an added bonus. It's very happy with the competition and with the mare, because they started at the beginning, there were no clear rounds, it was tough, and they had to fight a little bit. The mare gave her all, and of course they found their way clear. Only 6 in total. And to be first to go in the jump off, his plan worked out very, very well. He tried to close it out as quickly as possible without going crazy and putting others under pressure. It was beatable, but at the end of the day, it wasn't beaten, and it came down to these two. The head-to-head with the winner on the left and second place on the right, with Alvaro versus Armando, with Abenda Mesnil and Carl P. You can see absolutely even Stevens over the opening fences, and then the turn back into the double. That's where Alvaro has started to get that lead. He's able, you can see, just to let the horse run a little bit more between the fences. Doing a tremendous job, and he never really gave it up, did he? He just, again, able to keep a lovely even stride all the way down to the finish, and that's the difference between 38.35 and 39.50 here in this amazing Grand Prix. Well, great to hear from the Minister of Support, Government of Cantabria. First thing, of course, is to congratulate the success of this event. And it's a pleasure for them to collaborate and hope to do for many years to come. It's an unparalleled international award. 17 countries represented this year. What more can they ask for? Of course, from the Regional Minister of Culture and Sport and the Government of Cantabria, delighted to be part of this event. And they can count on us every year, because they understand that it is essential for this amazing venue. And what a venue, what a class, what a competition it has given us. Federico Cordobo, chance to hear from him as well, the director of the event. Of course, here on Sunday for the Grand Prix. It's already at its end of these 2 weeks. It's been another fabulous competition. Great to see the public here. And he really has hoped that everyone's enjoyed not only the show, but of course enjoying the beaches, the restaurants, the hotels, and as well will return in the future. Great to see such high quality international riders and the growth of the competition itself, and the likes and the caliber of the likes of Michael Duffy, Nicola Toro. It's been great to watch and great to enjoy, and it really thinks the international standing and recognition has once again risen this year. Last thing he wants to say and wants to convey is his sincere congratulations to Kevin and Alvaro. The sporting results, of course, are above all, and the work they do to make this competition a success, and because they are a very important part of keeping this going. It has been enjoyed by all that have been here with their horses, and of course for the riders and those that have come with them, the public that have been in. The facilities are absolutely superb, world class. And once again, I'm sure the riders will be penciling and putting into their diary to return next year. But thank you for being with us this year here for the Grand Prix Cantabria Infinita Trophy.